Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Mrs. Nikmati Niayah, as a lecturer in research methodology courses and the entire audience I'm proud of. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Anggita Tiara Pramestya, Smarang State Polytechnic student, majoring in accounting, Diploma 3 Accounting Study Program. Class Akatikasi, who will present the result of the final project proposal with the title Calculation of the Cost of Production using the Cost of Order Method X at XXX. The structure of this presentation: 1. Background, 2. Formulation of the problem, 3. Literature review, 4. Purpose and benefit, and the last is research methodology. For the first presentation, I will explain the background of why this research was conducted. The rapid development of the world causes entrepreneurs to be able to develop their companies well in order to compete with other similar companies and can get maximum profit. Company profits are also influenced by the calculation of the correct cost of goods produced. In calculating the cost of goods produced, the allocation of production cost is a part that must be considered. The production cost elements are grouped into three, namely material cost, labor cost, and factory overhead cost. Production costs are intended to obtain higher economic value of products. Therefore, companies need precise information about the element of production cost to be used as the basis for allocating the cost of goods manufactured. If the calculation of the cost of goods manufactured is too high, this can affect the high selling price of the product so that it can result in decrease in product sales because it is less able to compete with similar product in the market. With the correct and precise determination, it can assist management in making decisions to determine the selling price of product and obtain appropriate profit. The research conducted on the calculation of the cost of goods products by the cost of goods method with the cost of goods method process, because the company is still calculation using a simple method so that the calculation method are less precise and the exact costs incurred for the production process are not known. This will affect the profit or loss earned by the company. From the background that I have explained, the problem formulation of this research is: 1. How is the calculation of cost of goods manufactured using the cost of goods method for XXX month 2023? And 2. How is the comparison of the calculation of cost of goods manufactured XXX month 2023 with the calculation using the process costing method? Next, there is a literature review. 1 is definition of cost accounting, 2 classification of costs, 3 definition of cost good manufacture, 4 method of collecting cost of good manufacture, 5 characteristic cost of good process, 6 costing system in the process costing method, and 7 cost classification in the process costing method. The first literature review is the definition of cost accounting. Cost is the most important element in determining the cost of good or service produced. Cost accounting is a management tool in recording, classifying, summarizing, and presenting cost information in the form of cost report. Cost accounting information is used for planning, controlling, evaluation, and decision-making activities by company management. Then, the next literature review is classification of costs. There are 6 classifications of costs. First, cost classified according to the function of business activity. The main function of the activities of companies can be classified into 1. Production function, 2. Marketing function, 3. Administration and general function, 4. The financial function. Second, cost classified according to the accounting period in which the cost will be charged. The classification of costs related to when the expenditure will become a cost is as follows. 1. Capital expenditure, and 2 is income expenditure. Third, cost classified according to the tendency of change to activities are followed. The classification of cost according to the tendency of cost change to activities can be grouped into 1. Fixed costs, which have the following characteristic: B. Variable costs, and C is semi-variable. Fourth, cost classified according to the object or cost center finance. The classification of cost according to the object or center finance is as follows. 1. Direct costs are costs whose benefit can be identified to a specific object or cost center. B. Indirect costs are costs whose benefit cannot be identified to a specific object or cost center. 5. Cost classification for cost control purposes. The classification of costs for cost control is as follows. 1. Controllable costs, costs that can be influenced by a certain leader directly within a certain period of time. 2. Uncontrollable costs, costs that cannot be influenced by the authority of the leader or official. And the last is costs classified according to decision-making purposes. The classification of costs for decision-making is as follows. 1. Relevant costs are costs that must be taken into account because they will affect the determination of decision-making. And 2 is irrelevant costs are costs that do not need to be taken into account or considering because they do not affect decision-making. The definition of cost of goods manufactured. Cost that can be measured in unit of money for the purpose of processing raw material into finished products that are ready for sale. And then method of collecting cost of goods manufactured. The method of collecting the cost of production can be grouped into two methods. One, order costing method. The order cost method is a method of collecting the cost of goods, where costs are collected for each order or contract or service separately, and each order or contract or service can be separated from its identification. B. Process costing method. The process cost method is a method of collecting the cost of goods, where costs are collected for each specific unit of time, for example, month, quarter, semester, and year. Characteristic of cost of goods process. A. The cost of goods produced report is used to collect summaries and calculate the cost of goods both in total and per unit. B. Production costs for a given period are charged to product stock, a work in progress account organized for each cost element. C. Production is collected and reported for a specific unit of time period. D. Equivalent for production is used to calculate unit cost. E. To calculate the unit cost of each specific production cost element. The specific production cost element is divided by the equivalent production for the cost element concerned. F. The cost of goods is calculated to determine the elements that enjoy the cost charge. G. If in the process of processing products there are lost product, damaged product, defective product, additional product will be taken into account in the calculation of the cost products. Costing system. In the process costing method, charging the cost of goods to product with the cost of goods method can use the following system. A. All the elements are expensed based on actual cost. B. Certain cost elements, namely factory overhead costs, are charged based on predetermined rates or costs. And C. All cost elements are charged to the product on the basis of the cost of goods determined in advance. Cost classification in the process costing method. For the process costing method, production costs are classified as follows. 1. Material costs. In the process costing method, there is no separation between raw and auxiliary material. 2. Labor costs. In the processing pricing method, there is no separation or distinction between direct labor costs and indirect labor costs. 3. Manufacturing overhead costs. In the process cost method, include all production costs in the production department other than material costs and labor costs, plus all costs in the auxiliary department in the factory. The next presentation structure is the purpose and benefit obtained from conducting research. The purpose of this research is 1. Calculating the cost of goods manufactured using the cost of goods methods. 2. Comparing the calculation of cost of goods manufactured according to XXX with the calculation of cost of goods manufactured using the cost of goods method. The benefit of this research is 1. Can improve skill and insight and knowledge in the field of costing accounting. 2. Can be used as reference material for further research, especially those related to the topics of cost of goods produced by the process costing method. 3. Can provide information and as input material for XXA in determining the cost of goods products. Furthermore, there are research methodology. 1 is definition of research methodology. 2. Data classification. 3. Data collection method. 4. Writing methods. And 5 is data analysis method. Definition of research methodology. Research methods are steps taken by researchers in order to collect information or data to assist the purpose of research. Research method is a scientific vague method use the aim of obtaining data to conduct research to solve problem. The role of research methodology in compiling the research is to determine the type of data, data collection method, and research method. Data classification. The data classification used in this study is divided into two. One, types of data by nature, and two, types of database source. Types of data by nature. One is quantitative data. The data used in writing the research is data related to the cost of goods produced, namely raw material cost, labor cost, and factory overhead cost. Two, qualitative data. The data used in the study are data regarding company history, organizational structure, duties and responsibilities of each part and the production process. Types of database source. One is primary data. The data in the study are in the form of production data and data on the calculation of the cost of production that has been carried out. Two, secondary data. The data in the study are the history of the information of company, organization, structure, and type of the product produced. Data collection method. There are several data collection methods, namely, one is observation, conduct by making direct observation of production activities at the company that the object of research. Two, literature review. The literature used in this research is in the form of collecting book, written material, and reference that are relevant to the research being conducted. Three, documentation. Data collection is carried on in the form of company history, raw material cost data, labor cost, and factory overhead cost. Four, interview. Researchers ask questions to the company owner and the head of accounting and finance face-to-face regarding the company work process activities. Writing method. The writing method in this research is one, descriptive method. In this method, research describes the company general description, company history, organizational structure, and employee duties and responsibilities. Two, exposition method. This method is used to explain the comparison between the calculation of the cost of goods applied by the company and the calculation of the cost of production using the cost of goods method process. Data analysis method. In calculating the cost of production using the process cost method, each cost element consisting of raw material cost, labor cost, and factory overhead cost will be charged off to the cost center department. Writing systematic. The writing systematic is used to provide an overview of the problem that will be discussed in outline. The following is the writing systematic of this final project. Chapter 1 is introduction. This chapter describes the background of the problem, problem formulation, objective and benefit, methodology, and systematic of writing this final project. Chapter 2 is literature review. This chapter will explain the theoretical basis used as a reference. Chapter 3, research method. This chapter will explain the method used in writing the final project. Chapter 4, result and discussion. This chapter contains an overview of XXX. Chapter 5 is closing. This chapter contains conclusion about all the description that have been discussed and the provide suggestion for the result of the study. And this is our research schedule. The following is a schedule of activities in the preparation of research for 4 months. Okay, that's all I can explain regarding the final project proposal with title Calculation of the Cost of Production using the Cost of Order method at XXX. I would like to thank Ms. Tiara who has provided knowledge in preparing the proposal. Thank you for all your attention. Hopefully this presentation can be useful for anyone. Thank you very much, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.